from L&T. My question is about linking process performance to the business objectives. Typically, the objectives that you have is, improving your margins or, increasing your revenues, etc. And there are a lot of other factors which influence these.
Absolutely.
So, I just wanted to know your thoughts on how this can be achieved in time.
Okay. If you see at QPM, I pointed out that I talked about using or involving other business functions at times. If they are related to work, it doesn't mean that you go to accounting or other groups and start applying high maturity practices there. But there's a more flexibility. It's not just about projects, it's about the combination of things that you do which help you achieve it. And you will understand other linkages too, and maybe even understand your risks or limitations and use that. The best example I can say is what Ravi talked about. Getting a customer satisfaction of 5 or close to 5 is what was giving repeat business. If you're getting 4.2 or some number, I'm not sure if you had a number in mind, at least putting it. So if you're getting 4.2s, you may be happy, but that doesn't mean that the customers are staying back. They might be actually looking for other options.
One last quick question.
Yeah. See, I have a couple of questions. So
then I think we have the break also. Yeah. What follows is option break for you to interact.
See, one is that what kind of changes this is introducing to SCAMP 1.3? See,
that's a different topic altogether.
Specifically, there are cases where goal is more than the sum of practices.
Right.
So that kind of addressal, how is that addressed in SCAMP 1.3? And my second question is about if an organization is already at 1.2 and which is done in recent phases. Because in the recent phases, lot of PPMs and all those things were circulated from SCI.
Right.
So if the organization has been assessed very recently at 1.2, so how long will it take to go to 1.3? I mean, from your perspective, from
the first one, I thought you were talking about the SCAMP 1.3, which is actually a separate topic altogether, possibly not the right one for this forum. From an appraisal perspective, as a lead appraiser, I would expect, because what you finally rate is the goal, and the goal does need to be rated as satisfied, which means we would need to see statistical and quantitative techniques to be visible in one or more practices. And that's exactly the guidance that I would give to my appraisal team members. While you evaluate for practices, do highlight the practices where we have been able to see it. Because if we aren't able to see any one of them, then we have a concern about the goal.
Well, let's barely at the time, we could break right on the coffee break. Actually, the agenda, and I would strictly go by.
Can I do the how much time? Because
right.
it usually has a 2-word answer, but it depends. This is always correct. Right, but you're right. There aren't too many changes. Why SCI continued to call it as 1.3 and not just 2.0 was for the same reason that they believe that this is not very big. Specific goal 1 is something that any reasonable implementation should already be doing, at least if not completely, to a large extent. Right, so the enhancement of the change is not so big. But I would not want to waste your time on that.
Thank you, Mukul. A big round of applause for you, gentlemen. And real quickly from there, before I let you go, I'd like to, on behalf of QAI, felicitate both our speakers for the morning. Ravi, thank you very much. And Mukul being part of QAI would do the honors. Big round of applause, Ravi. Very interesting paper. I'm sure people have a lot of questions, and I would request you to give as much time as you can. And Mukul, this is from QAI, but nonetheless, it's important for you to share the perspective from SCI's point of view on the version changes and what one expects in the new version. Thank you indeed. You meant to please take your seat, and as per the agenda sheet, your tea break is over, so we'll move on to the next session. No, I wouldn't be that cruel, but let's make it short, snappy, and quick. Let's do a time check. It's 11:30 by my watch. So let's get back in time. It's 15 minutes overrun, which I'm sure all of you being high-maturity quality professionals would allow a program manager that much of latitude. But let's quickly and crisply come back in 15 minutes. And as you know, very important announcement, we'll break into 2 sessions now and follow this session right up to the second tea break, post-lunch. So there'll be 2 tracks, all one hall. You'll have a partition in between. As per your interest in the paper, you're kindly requested to assemble back at the track 1, track 2, which will be, this hall will be cut into 2, and you'll have track 2 on that side, track 1 on this side, and we'll converge in 15 minutes. You have a good tea coffee break, and thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, speakers. See you on the other side of the break.